Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hoping a phenomenal day. Once more, taking a look here at Hbar. This coin has been very profitable for us. Congrats to you as well if you are in profit. You got in the 14 cents or lower range. Comment below, let me know what entry you got. This is really cool to hear. I forget the specific number we got in, but I know we claimed approximately 60% in roughly 2 days on a 5x leverage trade. So it's pretty substantial. We also claimed some profits on an older Tau trade from a week ago, 71%, and an SUI long at 24% in 12 hours. That coin can move. But at Hbar, no joke, no slouch here as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some liquidation levels, kind of verify a few things here that are important, and then just talk a little bit about kind of best practice in situations like these, because we want to look at fib levels and get perspective on where the price could pull back to if it does, because it is a bit on the overextended side. It broke its local high and it could continue to run, but we want to be mindful and not just get stupid on longs, right? Because some people they'll be emotional idiots, and it can be very very challenging to navigate these kind of crypto markets when you're just all over the place. Anyways, that's what I'm gonna try to do here, is help bring and make some sense of this for you. So if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Thanks again so much for being an awesome part of my life. To those who are new, welcome, obviously, and I want to say thank you too, specifically. If you take a look here at my views, we got probably the most amount of views I've seen in quite a while, almost 2,500. That's awesome. And we take a look here, there's 59 new subscribers as of the last 24 hours just watching the channel. So thank you again so much for that. Really appreciate it. This is really awesome stuff. So let's take a look at the backend data, work our way down, kind of see what's up. I want to look at the last 12 hours because the 7-day here kind of tells us that we got some obvious liquidation levels at about 18 to 18.7 and 19.2. Those are two heavy concentrations. But if we look at the 12-hour, it can be a little more helpful in just local areas of support and resistance. So if we zoom out, we can kind of see we are close to that lower range. So 16.2 to 16.4 are kind of the two concentrations of, or just that little support range, if you will, where the price action is, we have the most amount of liquidation there. Same thing here too. You look at the macro, obviously 11 to 12 cents is a big deal. We're not close to even being there yet. We got to lose a lot to get there. So don't even worry about that for a moment. We can see, however, that a lot of folks have shifted bearish. We have a larger liquidation delta to the downside than the upside, just kind of implying that people are more short heavy than long, which essentially is the current trend if you look at it that way. And we got to recognize that trading into that may not be the smartest call, because a lot of times trying to buy into a lot of selling pressure just doesn't make sense. It's like kind of walking into oncoming pedestrian traffic. Right? It's going to be kind of a pain in the butt. You can do it, but it's more work. So again, just understand that. If we take a look at open interest here, we can see the heaviest amount of late longs at 17.2, and then we kind of got some early longs and obviously late longs here too at 16.4. So 16.4 and 17.2 are those areas there, which we can see pretty much reflected here on our fib levels. Okay, both those are just those consistent areas there. So let's take a look at the daily, work our way down, see what's going on. Daily time frame, folks, by the way, when prices move like this, it can be, I wouldn't say false positives, but more importantly, the daily time frame will give you less indication of what's really going on because it's moving so fast. So we're still over 70 on the RSI. Generally implies you want to leave your position open. This is more so a bullish sign. This is more of a macro bullish sign though. So if you're a buy now, sell tomorrow kind of person, this doesn't necessarily apply to you, because the price could still pull back before it goes up again. But stochastic is kind of letting us know we're reaching our tentative bottom, but it is it's starting to swing down for the second time. That's generally unfavorable. And the MACD is also kind of starting to plateau. So minus the moving averages and the local point of control, we have more indication that the price could pull back. And if it does, just so you know, friendly advice here, the point of control, point of control is below us. But if we zoom out in this local range, ever since we've been in this range since Monday the 18th, we can see the most amount of volume at 13.6 and secondary to that 15.1. That's just at this lowest area of this fair value gap though. So if you're not familiar with the fair value gap, these are just gaps that are created because the price action moved too fast and there wasn't enough profits to be secured. Because you got to recognize the reason why this moved as quick as it did wasn't because of people like you and I. I know we like to think that, but market makers, people with a lot more money than you and me, are the ones pushing the price action higher. Okay, unless there was some kind of crazy Reddit post I'm not familiar with, that is likely a market maker. And the reason why fair value gaps exist is because the price moves up too quick, and they're likely filled because that profit needs to be secured. They're going to be selling until they get there, right? That's generally the concept. Is it a guarantee? No, we still have a fair value gap, I believe, from earlier too. So again, it's not an exact science, folks, but statistically they're more probable to get hit. And since that's local and close, it would make sense. Anyways, our previous resistance is at 15.5. That was a previous daily candlestick closure. You zoom back here to April. So just to clarify, that's kind of a resistance level because we tested it 3 or 4 times before and it couldn't break. Now that we've broken it, what do you know? That turns into a support. So 15.5 is the local support. 15.1 is that point of control. We got a decent amount of confluence just below the price. We have the MACD, the SMAs here. We got the 20 and the 50. They're traveling behind, so this is good. Generally, you can draw out a trend line concurrent with them to give you perspective on where the price is going to go, and just being above that is a very positive sign. So that kind of lets us know on the right side of tracks. When we look at RSI, we recognize that we're below 70. This is not bearish by any stretch. We're still over 50. That's a positive. But RSI has to cool down in most cases before the price legs up again. Oftentimes you'll see this happen where the RSI comes down closer to 50, and then the price ranks up because people at that point feel like it's a better value. It is the relative strength right now. People at this current moment might feel like it's a bit on the overpriced side, and they may be willing to wait to buy. That's why RSI cooling off helps the mentality, if you will, of the layman traders. So 4-hour time frame is mostly in good shape here. Once again, folks, keep in mind I always post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, just so you understand. It's there, so that way you can kind of see the recap of what I extracted from the videos. So I may not sit here all the entire time and clean up the charts, but I will soon, and you'll get that reflected there. If you're curious, you can find that over on my other social medias. Last but not least is the hourly. This is going to give us firm indications that we're still in good shape for a long, but you also got to recognize too, when the price goes up like this, a lot of times it can work itself into a descending type of channel. And for right now, you can kind of see a bearish flag forming or a bearish pennant. And these do typically break to the downside. So that in combination with the lagging span letting us know we're getting closer to a take profit target, or more importantly, you should secure profits on a long position if you have one, it would seem sensible for the price to pull back. Okay, again, just based on the overall sentiment here. Now, if it were to pull back, just to kind of give you perspective of a worst case scenario, once again, we've already reaffirmed that we have the open interest areas here at 16.3 and 17.2 as a rough estimate. We also recognize too, if we look at liquidation, that there is more liquidation between 16.2 and 16.4. So hypothetically, it would make perfect sense for the price to come down here to 0.382 and to effectively bounce or consolidate there first. Okay, now we just got to kind of wait it out. Honestly, me personally, I don't like taking along at this exact level, especially since we're already 60% profit. Okay, so it doesn't make a ton of sense to open a late long right now. That's just my personal thoughts. That's me not being a breakout trader. Okay. Again, if you saw my video from yesterday, I expected the price to retrace when it hit its 17-cent resistance. Now, it's kind of consolidating just below that previous resistance, so we can kind of extract the fact that we're probably more likely to continue lower, even though we have good momentum to the upside too. Okay, so it's a tricky little place here to be. My general consensus here is that you should probably secure profits if you have them. While it could and should leg up again soon based on the fact that it's a strong coin, we're seeing more money flowing in. You don't necessarily want to short against that. The likelihood of the price pulling back, I think, to fill its fair value gap, at the very least, to this lower to mid 15-cent range, perhaps even retest the previous high as a new low at 15.5. I think that's a solid chance that we're going to see that. If so, I'd be very interested in a long around that range. Between now and then, I'm just going to wait it out because I am a fairly patient trader. If you know this by now, you're part of my trading community. you take any of my trade signals I provide, you'll know that I might send one signal a day. Okay, but again, these are typically high converting 80% success rate signals, so less is more in my personal opinion. Again, to each their own. Everyone has their own strategy, but I personally think that over trading is the number one problem in crypto. Okay, anyways, thanks again so much for watching. I hope you learned something today. Make sure you join us over at Bitunix too, folks, next month, basically tomorrow. We have a $12,000 deposit bonus reward. There's a little bit of a system involved. It's based on volume, but we unlocked like 800 million volume last month. I think it's going to be easy to hit 300. All right, anyways, questions on that, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of your day. I'll post our playout chart here shortly on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. We'll see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.